get into, Tyler Perry, Divorce Sisters, season 1, episode 6. So, baby, I said this episode it was actually a good episode. It was a little boring. I ain't gonna lie, it was a little boring, but we're gonna get into it. But I said, first of all, we leave off where we left off, and that was with Jeff and Rashida, in the drive out in the front yard, still going at it. I said, so apparently Jeff ended up grabbing the phone. And this man is crazy as heck. But let's get into it. Let me get into the picture because I'll be going and be off on the tip. So baby, I said, so y'all see him. He didn't grab the phone. He said, well, hold up. Hey man, who is this? He said, who is this? Why you calling me? Why the hell you calling me? His right hand man is named Marvin. I said, they finally said this man. They may have said his name before, and I ain't paid no attention, but he will always be right hand man to me. So apparently, he going off. He went, why the hell you calling me? He went, Pastor, I'm so sorry. He went, I thought I was calling Denise. I said, you don't know damn well hell you was calling nobody's name. You weren't calling your wife. I just got out of the shower. And, I just picked up the phone. I was calling my wife. I said, in the way his action, he was so like heartbroken that he was even talking to him like this. You got Rashida looking like, really? He like, oh, I'm so sorry. First lady, I am so sorry. She just looking like, He, I'm so sorry. So Rashida ended up going in the house. She just trying got time for this. She just went directly in the house. So Jeff ended up continuing talking to him. He went, you got her looking at me crazy. He went, I'm so sorry. I thought I was honestly talking. I thought I honestly was calling my wife. I duly apologize. He went, I believe you. I said, man. I said, oh my God. I said, this is a mess. This is such a mess. But as they continue to talk, he said, so what's going on? He went, well, what you calling for? He said, well, I wanted to let you know I was getting a doctor to come and check you out. He said, see, you don't listen. He went, you always doing things that I don't tell you to do. I told you I was fine. He went, well, you weren't fine last night. And I'm like, oh, okay. Here we go. So he said, you don't listen. What I need you to do is to start listening to what I tell you. I'm fine. What I'm going to do is, I didn't hear him say he was going to the hospital. I heard him say, I'm going to the gym, and then I'm going to the church. Then Marvin ended up saying, oh, I'm on my way. He said, see, you ain't listening, but you still not listening. We just had a conversation. You're not listening. I don't need you. I will meet you at the church. So after they get off the phone, he ended up getting in the car. He ended up saying a prayer over, the situation that just went down, over his family, over Rashida. Then he get a call from a girl, Tiffany. So Tiffany called to see what's going on with Rashida because, Rashida ain't picking up. So she actually asked what's going on. He said, it was a rough night last night. Everything. She went, yeah, it was. So apparently he ended up, having a conversation where he asked what's going on. So how Naomi doing? She went, really? You do not care about her. He went, what? I am concerned. I am a man of God. I'm still a man of God. I said, that don't mean nothing. You already proved that you don't give a about that woman at all. You think just like Franklin think when it comes to her. So, as they continue to talk, he ended up saying that, some things went down last night. It was just a lot. And, Tiffany said, what's going on? What's the like? Well, she in the house, but she went, so well, I didn't open the door. So them going back and forth, found out. She asked him, "Was you cheating?" He went, "I think I ain't cheating. I ain't cheating." I said, "Yeah, you cheating." I want to be honest, he cheated. But we're gonna keep it moving. So as they continue to talk, she asked, what you did. He went, "Well, I didn't last night. We got into an argument. We got into a little thing last night. On the way home. She stayed in the car. I did not open the door." And Tiff like, ooh. Tiff like, "Oh no." Tiff like, "Oh, that was a trigger. That was truly a trigger." That's why, yeah, you hit a trigger and this is over. And what you mean? What you mean it's over? So you need to ask her. You need to go ask her what's going on. You need to ask her. He kept on pressing her and pressing her and pressing her to the point where he says, "When she got, tell me when she got she got two things that is her pet peeves. One is you hanging up in her face, and he said the other one is not open her." And he said, "I didn't know that was a big thing. What the big thing about that?" And he kept pressing to the point where she told him, "You need to ask Rashida." He went, "Just tell me, Tiff, just tell me. Just tell me." And my thing with Tiff, I don't think Tiff should have told him. That was not her place. And if Rashida never told him this, it was never to be said. But she went ahead and told the story of in college. It was a guy that Rashida was madly in love with, and he was a frat boy. They went to a frat party, and her and the boyfriend went up to a room. As they was in the room, they were just making out, and then all of a sudden, his frat brothers came in, and she got up to leave, and they blocked it, and she pleaded and pleaded, and she ended up being assaulted by them. And from that point on, she only told two of the girlfriends, that's Tiffany and Geneva. The other two, Bridget and Naomi, don't know. So she said that's one of her biggest pet peeves, that if a man does not open the door for her, she will not be with him. So she told him, "You need to go back in that house. You need to go right now. You need to go in that house and plead your heart out." Because she's in there looking at herself in the mirror, deciding if she's going to stay in this relationship, stay in here, or walk away. And so he went, "But I got to get to the hospital." She went, "You can go ahead, go to the hospital. That's go ahead, do that. But if you do that, all right, I'm going to go in the house. I'm going to the house." I said, "This man is a total mess." I said, "He is a mess. Jeff is crazy. And Tiffany, you're wrong. But we're going to move on past there. Let's get into the next thing." I said, so Jeff ended up in the house. And as they're in, he went to where she was. She's in their master bathroom. And this man ended up trying to hold her hand. She went, "No, he went, look at me. Just look at me." So she finally looked at him. So he started pleading his heart out. This man tell her that he said that he's jealous of her. He's been trying to be the man that she wanted him to be. "I'm just stressed. You got a book deal that's bigger than mine. The people truly adore you and love you, and they come to church for you. Don't know. I have hard for people to even notice me." I said, "Huh?" I said, "Now, wait a minute. She said, come here and plead your heart out, but it's like it's all about you, and you're envy of her." So they continue, and she ain't saying nothing. She just sitting there. He said, "Say, babe, say something. Say something." Right? Okay. He went, that's all you gotta say. She said, yeah. I said, okay. So they continued this all. So she ended up asking questions. She said, okay, so are you and Marvin having an affair? He like, why would you even ask me that? Why would you even ask me that question? So like I said, I'm not attracted to any man. I'm not attracted to him. I'm not attracted to any man. At all. I said, all righty. Okay. So he ended up saying, but I am, it's a lot of women at the church that I find attractive. You don't see me trying to get with them. I said, oh, ooh. I said, oh, we doing that one. I said, you give me the type of dude that you're attracted to whoever. That is what I get, because I said he a mess. Because I said you flipped it around like, still, I said him and the right man, something going on. Something going on, and he never gonna tell it. Because if you did find him attractive or interested in him, would you tell me? He really didn't answer the question if he would or not. To be honest, he does his usual thing. So at that point, he ended up too. And so let me know about the women. So who are the women that you like at church? He said Brianna. He said Bridget, Sierra. It was a couple of women. She went, oh, okay. Okay, she went, I think you should go to work. You need to go on and go to work. He went, bad. What? He went, is you gonna be here when I get home? She went, why did you ask that? He went, I just wanted to know. She went, where I'm gonna go. He went, just promise me, is you gonna be here? She went, I'll be here. So that's what went on there. I really don't know what she gonna do. What was she really gonna do? To me, I can see her staying with him until actually something really happens. That's what it seemed like what may happen, but I'm not sure yet. This is the 6th episode, so we'll find out what's going on there. So let's move on past that one. Let's get into the work. Okay, come on. So she thought he went to work already, so she went and took a shower. So she ended up calling Geneva to find out what's going on and stuff like that. So Geneva asked, girl, so what's going on, girl? Is that and I'm just, I just took a shower getting ready. So they ended up having a conversation. She asked where she was at, and Geneva is her crazy self. I said, this woman crazier than crazy. She is actually following the yoga lady. She followed this lady, and Rashida said, "Girl, girl, go home." She said, "Girl, stop doing that. Go home." She said, "What? I got to see where she going." She following this lady all over the place because she told her, "I didn't follow." She said, "How did you end up following her?" She said, "Well, I went to the school. William was just there. I seen them." This woman crazy. I said, you looking for something. So she told her, girl, go home, take a shower, get ready, and come to the church. I do need to see you. You better come to. I will. Woman crazy. I said, so she continued to follow the lady to wherever going to. As we move on past that, let's get into the next scene. In the next scene up, we go to. Oh, hold up. That's going backwards. Okay, here we go. So now, after she done got done on the phone with Geneva, she thinking he done left. This man ain't left the house yet. So she said, I thought that he might know. So they end up having a conversation. She asked him, like, what's going on? Because all of a sudden it switch up and you being so concerned and so, you wanna be vulnerable and everything. And she ended up asking him like, "Who you been talking to?" Because somebody, you know, I ain't talking to nobody. That's where you're wrong. Yeah, there you go with your line. Just tell me the truth. Be honest. I deserve that. So he ended up blurting it out. He said, he went, yeah, I heard about, the R-ing that happened to you. And she went, oh, so, okay. So let me see. Which one told you? So who told you, Shane? Because two of them don't know. So there's only two other people that you could have found this out from. Geneva and Tiffany. So let me let's call Geneva. Let's call Tiffany, excuse me. He went, no, don't do that. Oh, so it was Tiffany, right? So, okay. So he ended up telling that, I know about what happened at the frat, the frat party. And she was like, okay. He went, I want you to make me understand. She went, you won't. You won't. And so she went, I feel like you are thinking I'm a victim and you showing pity to me. That's why all of a sudden you being vulnerable and concerning, and you wanna, you wanna fix something in this relationship. And he went, no, it's not that. He explained that, I was in the car, after, what went down, I was, and that's when Tiffany called. And, Tiffany don't ever call me. And, and I know that was a sign from God. And she ended up telling me what happened. You know. And he said, I'm gonna be here for you. I was wrong for not opening the door, and I would never ever do that again. I said, girl. Now he wants together. I said, oh. I said, girl. She said, I ain't got time for this. But they ended up riding to church. I said, they ended up riding to church together. He gave her a big old hug. I love you. That hug right there is like she was just, to me, she numb. I get that what happened to her, like, you're not really concerned. I mean, you're not. You think I'm wounded. You think no. It's like, yeah. I just found it. I'm like, he's a lot. So we move on past them. Let's get into the next one. And we get into Miss Bridget. So Miss Bridget made it to work. And I was the boxer. Let's call him a boxer because I cannot remember this man's name. They just said it twice. So he's there waiting on her. So apparently this man had called the police because after that, him getting assaulted at her house. So police went looking for Vaughn, and he asked her where he at and stuff, and she acting like, I don't know. He said, you do know where he at, so you still gonna lie. He had his mom. Where his mom live? What side of town? So she told what side of town. He said, he going to jail. They argued and stuff. And then, you got Jeff and Rashida showing up. And he ended up saying he needed to talk to Jeff. So they go sideways. They go their separate ways. She goes into the office going to Rashida's office and they have a little conversation where Bridget's giving her compliments that, like, you coming in, you look, I love I love the relationship that you and Jeff has and stuff like that. I'm like, girl, if you only knew the truth, So her and that, she said, girl, I need you to get in contact. I need you to get a hold of Tiffany. I said, that's gonna be a conversation because Tiffany was wrong for that. So, that's what went on there. So we move on past there. We're gonna get into the next. And the next thing up, baby. Come on. Thing up is okay. So Tiffany she's a realtor. So she is selling the house in the neighborhood of Geneva's. So she ended up calling Geneva. Geneva walked out in her new outfit and everything, and she seen Tiffany calling. And she hung up. She hung up the call. She denied the call, and Tiffany said, "Oh, I see you denying my call. So what you running for?" She said, "Hey, girl." She said, "What you doing over here?" She said, "I'm over here for a new listing." Yeah. So what's going on with you? Nothing, girl. She said, "Well, Tiffany ended up telling her about, Javon, that he been calling, they been talking, they would chit chat and the whole ride and stuff like that. She looking a certain way. She looking mad, Then Javon, he shows up because he's the new client. Yeah, they're showing her that she'll be showing this house to, and the house is next door to Geneva now. So, they standing there. He brought Tiffany flowers, roses. I said, "Oh, this girl," I said, "Geneva, mad as hell." She said, "What you doing here?" I said, "Oh." So Geneva ended up leaving. So you got Tiffany and Javon. They just standing there talking. She said, "I'm waiting on the realtor for this place to show up so that we can go in, and they're gonna lock the door and we're going to see the place and stuff." So they doing a little flirting back and forth. He wanted to kiss her. She went, "This is strictly professional here in this setting. He went, maybe I can kiss you tonight." I said, "Yeah." Is he feeling her? A part of me think that he is feeling Tiffany. He really likes Tiffany, but he's made Geneva jealous. You said you better off, but the way you acting, y'all both are doing things to each other that don't make sense, and then you doing your friend wrong in the process when your friend has multiple times has asked you what's up with him, what is it? Because if she known that you and him was having an affair, she wouldn't mess with him. That's not her cup. That's not what she is about. But that's what went on there. Let's move on to the next. And okay, we got Miss Geneva herself. So after Geneva left there, Geneva then drove herself over to the yoga ladies studio to tell her girl, my daughter, whatever her daughter name, she came over there to set up a play date with their kids and stuff like that. Cause the yoga lady said, "Yeah, cause I'm used to when your husband usually drop off and picks up usually yeah, so we can trade." I'm sure we can do that. She asked, should I do my number? The lady said, "No, she ain't. No, he don't. She ain't. He don't." She, okay, traded numbers. This ended up leaving her. She act like she gave the woman a compliment on her yoga studio, left her phone, walked out, waited a couple of minutes, went to the car you see on the right, smoke, got her food, did her puff or two in, and she sit there, got herself back to the car, went back in, said, "Oh my God, girl, I left my phone. Oh my God, I can't believe it." So they looking for the phone. She, "Oh, here it go." She ain't, yeah. She ain't, too much on the brain. So she leave, and as she driving along, this girl then bugged this woman's studio. I said, "Bug this woman's phone." She did some type of tracing thing when they connected. Yeah. So now she listening to this girl's conversation, her phone calls. And the girl on the phone, the yoga lady, like on the phone with whoever, it seemed maybe her husband. She said, "Yeah, some strange woman just came in here. It was very weird, but the person said, 'I love you, Sean, I love you too, and I see you there.'" And Geneva got this look on her face like, mm. I said, "Girl, you's a mess." I said, all these women, I said, they said, "Y'all think Naomi is crazy out of the friend group. It ain't her." I said, "It's Geneva." I said, "Geneva." Tiffany give me a whole nother set. Tiffany give me worse than Naomi. to be honest. Geneva just takes the cake. Cause she crazy as heck, and we ain't even done with her. So let's move on to the next. And okay, so Geneva shows up to the church and have a conversation. You know, Bridget tried to stay in there while they was conversating, and Rashida said, "Girl, no, you need to leave." Friend, this is so. You know, they get down to the conversation. It was gossiping. So they get down to the conversation where she ended up telling Rashida that, you know, she went to follow the lady and whatever. Um, she talked about it was more about Javon, to be honest, and that she asked her what we gonna do because she followed the lady. She think that I know my husband, I know William is cheating, I know it. She's like, how you know? How you? I just know. I feel it in my gut. I feel that in my gut is never wrong. I said, girl, but you was a cheater. You was the plain example of a cheater. You cheated for 6 years, and the child that you got may be, it could be both of theirs, actually. Which would be a twist on a twist if it is. And it may be, I think it may be Javon, mostly. You know, she telling the story of, you know, how she feel about him and whatever, and that she wants to break up Tiffany. Tiffany's trying to figure out how she can get Tiffany to stop seeing him. And I'm like, Rashida said, like, girl, you're married. You're happily married. You got the best thing. You got the best thing in life. The best thing ever. And you trying to look for something to mess it up. William is boring. I'm bored. William, it's the same thing day in and day out. Girl, if it's the same thing day in and day out, is he cheating? She like, you just looking for anything. She like, well, I just hope that we can figure out something. I need to figure out. So, no, you need to figure out something because there ain't no we. You need to figure out something about how you gonna do this. So, you know, if Tiffany ended up, if they end up having SES. Why is that? Saying good. I have never in my life had any man at that size. Showing girl, showing your neighbor. I said this half a crazy. I said Geneva, girl, you some bad. It's like I've never had a man at that size, girl. The way he touched me. I said, girl. I said, you the best. I said, ooh. And like, we should looking at her like, girl, this man got you bad. When you want him, dude, you want him. No. Girl, you talking to me. Well, I don't know, girl. I don't know. But you don't want nobody else to have him. That's what it is. It's like you do want that man. You want him bad. And yes, he is doing the things that he doing. Yes, he getting with Tiffany. You saying he don't like Tiffany, but I said I think he do like Tiffany. Honestly, really do like Tiffany. And I said you a mess. So Rashida said, "Girl, I'm Shwayne, this is too much drama for today. Shwayne, girl, now open up that folder and let's talk about this book deal. Shwayne, but hold up, girl. Before we talk about that, can we finish what we just finish what we were talking about?" I said this apple is stuck on this bed. Rashida said, "Girl, there's nothing I can tell you, girl. You gotta figure this out for yourself. You gotta figure this out." There's nothing to be jealous of anything about this, but you have to figure it out. I said, this girl crazy. So they went back to doing their get down to business. So as that happened, let's get into Miss Bridget. So Miss Bridget is in her office. She get a text from Vaughn. So Vaughn ended up texting this woman if telling her, no one if you're the I can't you're the only reason you live. And then he said he gonna take himself out. He gonna commit suicide. So she's scrambling. She, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So she tried to call him. He didn't answer. She went, Vaughn, call me back. She went, oh my god, oh my god, god. So during this we got Rashida and Geneva and I walking in. Rashida asked her a question about pulling up the bookmarks, and she's so frantic about Vaughn. She ended up showing it. The text me. They went, oh my god. They went, okay. So they end up taking her to Pastor Jeff's office. On the way, as they right, Marvin talk, and it's like I'm confused. It's like, yeah, so as yeah, he's going because he wouldn't even let them into the office. As he just because he was in there talking to the boxer guy. She went, okay, move out the way. I said, oh my god. I said, this ain't. I said, none of that makes any sense to me. I said, why are you so like you overprotecting him from his wife? Like they're at the church. If something come up, she has to come to him. He can't handle it. She knows there's too much for her. She came to him. So she goes in there, tell him what's going on. The boxer guy already left the room. Tell him what's going on, that Javon, said he's gonna take himself out. So she frantic, Bridget, she finally get him on the phone. This man said, you don't love me. My daddy don't love me. My mama, nobody loves me. He was and all that stuff. She trying to plead with him, tell him calm down, where you at. And then the past, so Jeff ended up taking over. Jeff tried to please him with him. Jeff told him, I've been where you been, He went, no, you got money, you got cars. He went, no. He went, before I even had any of this stuff. He said, I was in foster care. When I was a team, I had rough life as a team and stuff like that. He trying to plead with him, but Javon ain't listening. He really ain't feeling none of that. He's saying like, and stuff like that. He ain't going to jail. And I said, oh, man, this man a little bit loony. But I said, so it continues on. They trying their best to get him. Jeff tried. Jeff said, you don't have to go. No, he said, you know what happened in shelter? He went, you don't got to go to a shelter. I have a facility for you. You can stay as long as you want. Stay as long as you want. But he wasn't hearing none of it. So he said, where Bridget at? Where Bridget at? Bridget get back on the phone like that. I love you. I love you. Oh, also, when he was talking to Jeffrey, she ended up saying that, she let that man attack me while I was asleep. I said, he wasn't asleep, fool. But, he's telling all this stuff. So Bridget get back on the phone. And Bridget trying her best to calm him down, telling him I love you and stuff like that. And trying to see where he at. And he ended up taking like right there on the phone. I said he was gonna do that anyway. He wanted to. I said it's sad that he took his life. It's sad that he felt like nobody was there for him. He had nobody for him. He's saying that Bridget was supposed to always be there. I said a person always being there for you, but you're not doing anything. You're not doing the things you need to do for your life by holding down a job. But you think she's supposed to work this, that, and the third, do everything, cook, clean, and all this stuff while you just lay on your tail? No. I said, I understand that having a mental breakdown is being stressful. That's a lot. You know, in this situations, a lot of people do things like this to make sure that the person that that loved them, that they were in love with, they make sure to. Some people do this to make sure they leave an impression on them, you know. But that's what happened. And she tried to get in contact with him again, you know. But we heard the gunshot. I said this was a crazy episode. I said long as hell. I said this episode was longer than the last one. I said please, it took me over how many hours? It took me 3 hours to actually get done to get through my notes and stuff. I said a lot. I said, ugh. It was good. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about it. That's all I got for y'all. This was Tyler Perry, Divorce Sisters, episode 6, and baby, they were a mess. A true mess. Hold up. I'm trying to see something. Okay. Well, like, share, subscribe, and join the channel. It's your boy Paul. Bye, y'all.